news coming up tonight in this breaking news on an old story that happened 5 years. Some new breaking news happening about that. That girl, that lady, that district attorney, Linda Stanley, was disbarred for bumbling. Remember, everybody? Is there anybody in here? We're going to wait a minute. Where is everybody? I know there's going to be at least one person in here.
Most likely.
One,
Is anybody there?
two, three. Nobody's here. There's one. Welcome.
All right.
We were just saying about some breaking news about Linda Stanley, the bumbling district attorney in the Barry Morphew murder case.
Bumbling bubblehead district attorney.
Yes.
Hi, Carrie Bishop and Vivian Hirsch. And anyway, Linda Stanley, you know how she was disbarred, and then she appealed that disbarment, and then she lost her appeal on Monday. And yeah, I know it happened on Monday, so as usual,
it's still
day
breaking
late,
news,
dollar short. But yeah, I couldn't have been happier. I was especially happy when I was reading the articles about this and seeing that for once they didn't use the name.
And what would that name be?
Julez Wolf. Wolf being my maiden name, not Jack's last name. And, so not really what I go by. Hey, Kit, my sis. And so another thing is that I decided that on the channel, I'm going to go by the nickname that Jack actually calls me here at home, on the road, or wherever.
Tell them.
I'm telling him. He calls me Bunny, and I call him Bay. So we're Bunny and Bay, folks. Anyway, so now you're like in the inner circle of us. Anybody that really hangs out with us in real life. Now I'm not a stinky bunny. I'm just a bunny.
Stinky bunny.
And actually, if you guys want to really early
sorry,
laugh
I'm shaking
about
the camera,
how
guys.
come he calls me Bunny, is a long time ago there was a like, I guess it was kind of like a Hallmark TV show or whatever, and it starred Sean Cassidy and Linda Pearl, and they played a couple with, I don't know if they had Down syndrome or mental retardation or, and Hakeem seems to have an issue with me, so I'll just...
Come on, mods.
Yes, thank you, mods. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh, yeah. Anyway, I don't remember what exactly the name of the movie was, but they were a couple with mental retardation, and they had a wonderful love story, and they beat the odds and got married. And it's based on a true story where his name is Roger, and he calls her Bunny.
There you go, Carrie.
And
Carrie's now a moderator.
And apparently, when I was when I was younger, I looked kind of like Linda Pearl did in that movie. And then when I had my wisdom teeth out, I sounded like I was mentally touched. And so, yeah, Bunny.
Bunny? I was thinking only Murders in the Building.
Yeah, and then most recently it got revived because of Only Murders in the Building. There's a character named Bunny Folger, and she has these big cat eye glasses like the ones I wear. And, he said I look like Bunny from there, too. So, anyway, Bunny. 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 So
Are you reading the comments? I made Carrie
uh,
Bishop a moderator. Hopefully she'll keep those little trolls in line. Just go
yeah,
ahead and and ban them and hide them from the channel.
yeah.
Remove comment, whatever you need to do on your end. Thank you.
So anyway, so that's why we're Bunny and Bay. He's Bay for obvious reasons. And hey, get back in there. See,
I would.
look at.
I'm trying to
See,
read the comment that got held for review.
that's why he's my Bay. Um, anyhow, we've been really, really.
Ah, well, I'm not going to show that comment. That's kind of naughty. Anyways, lots of people saying naughty things.
Yeah, I'm not gonna look at the comments. Anyway, as I was saying, we came on here though to celebrate the fact that Linda Stanley lost her appeal. She has officially been disbarred. She cannot practice law in the state of Colorado, and many other states also will not allow her to practice law because of her being disbarred here. She's like automatically disbarred in those states as well. So that is just perfect. They ruled that she wasn't really in the wrong for being a bumbling idiot when it came to not being able to run her team. But of course, what got her disbarred was all that talking to the press, talking to YouTubers, including me. And they mentioned how she went after Judge Lama because of the petition I wrote asking that Judge Lama be looked into. And when I asked that Judge Lama be looked into, I was just hoping that someone would, get the Judicial Review Board or something to look into it, not, wanting Linda Stanley to go take it upon herself to go hire her own investigators and stuff to go and go after him on her own, gunning for him or something. That was
Guess who I made a mod now?
my
Kit.
sis.
Kit's
Yay!
now a mod. She's been here for years and years since the very beginning.
Yeah, guys, and Kit is a wonderful woman, and she's got her own channel too. So give her some love as well. Anyhow, Bay and I are excited about Linda Stanley being disbarred, and also we're looking forward to this Barry case. He's going to be back in court on September 16th, which is just a week away or so. And
do you remember when Linda Stanley came on your channel?
Yeah,
that got her in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, and Linda Stanley tried talking to me privately, so of course I went and told the channel everything about it because I felt very icky and weird going, I'm pretty sure the district attorney isn't supposed to be palling up to people and telling them stuff about the case.
She was on Mike King as well.
Yeah. And it's just
now I can see
she did not handle herself well. And fortunately, this new case against Barry is really good, rock solid. The arrest affidavit makes sense. It's not some kind of wacky, long, drawn out, crazy story or anything like that. This is real, and this is something that's going to stick. And it's kind of interesting watching things unfold and seeing how the defense is going to try to play this. As someone that enjoys poker and chess and other games of strategy, it is just interesting watching legal proceedings like this and getting insight into the main players and like the ego and motivation of Barry's female attorney. And she straight up, some people go, oh, well, maybe she thinks that he's innocent and that's why she's fighting so hard for him. And the thing is, she's not innocent. I mean, he's not innocent. She isn't innocent either, because she is very out there and open about the fact that she will defend a guilty person to the end, because that is her job. That's what she does. That's what she's paid for. That's why she gets the big bucks. And so, and she does sometimes take on innocent clients as well, but money's money.
And that's a good question. Who's paying for his lawyers?
And I don't know who is paying for his lawyers. She has gone on record saying that, this is the Jane Fisher, has gone on record as saying that she would like pro bono it and try to get money from the Innocence Project and things like that.
If
He's
she
worked with it
pro
before.
bonoed that and she won, she would be well set.
Yeah. And perhaps, as Kit says, Mommy, perhaps Shirley is funding this, because we know that Barry has been busily taking Suzanne's money and in making investments with it, and then siphoning it off by giving it as gifts and things to his daughters and to Shirley. And actually, I haven't been able to chase down exactly what he may have given Macy, but he's given quite a bit that you can follow the paper trail for Mallory, the older daughter. And Mallory, the older daughter, also is either not as innocent as I would hope, or she's totally had the wool pulled over her. Sorry, I'm gonna cough.
Don't do that.
Sorry about that. Or she has totally bought Daddy's stories hook, line, and sinker, because she is right up there at almost like an accomplice or something, almost complicit, because right from the very beginning, she has been in his corner doing things like co-signing on papers to liquidate Suzanne's assets, co-signing the papers to have Suzanne's guardianship given to Barry, giving Barry, legal stuff over that, and also there's the I lost my train of thought.
We were talking about
the daughters and the GoFundMe. Barry's big old GoFundMe that
Thank you, Kit.
went around and around and around. It went to Mallory as beneficiary, and went to Shirley as beneficiary, back to Mallory as beneficiary. But anyway, who knows where that money went. And oh yay, Rainbow Remedies in there.
Yeah, she's been here for a while.
Oh wow, I didn't even know she was there.
I know a lot of people don't like you to stop and read the comments. They want you to keep going.
I'm trying not to look at the comments because I know that some people do not like it when you stop and read the comments. But speaking of, these things and thoughts on Barry himself, because I'm giving opinions. He's innocent until proven guilty, but in my mind and in my heart, he is guilty as sin. And it's not just because of it's everything piled together, because eventually it's not a coincidence anymore. And there were some things that it was like, oh, could it possibly be that he is this innocent person that he's claiming to be, and he's getting railroaded? I was like, I guess I even thought for a little bit that it was possible that he was being railroaded, because Bay here is like a conspiracy theorist, and he's also like all into those audit things, and so there's a lot of distrust of what the police are get up to, and especially since we have done some deep dives ourselves and figured out that um, there is a lot of good old boy network and things like that. So it was possible that he got on the wrong side of the good old boy network and was getting hounded or whatever. And Bay thought it was possible that Barry was like involved in drug dealing or something, and maybe he did something wrong, and maybe they did something to Suzanne
That's
or,
right. That's
or
what I
took her
thought.
um, in order to punish Barry. But in that case, it would still be Barry's fault essentially. But anyway, things that stood out, just like really stood out to us, were, for one, the case was just really wonky because we've been on search and rescues before for people, and we went out there volunteering, and we discovered that there was no staging area. There were no other volunteers out there. The police weren't even out there. We only saw like one vehicle
Yep,
out
just
there,
one.
and so we knew that they weren't looking for Suzanne. Um, so we knew right away, okay, this is not a missing person case. They might be calling it a missing person case, but this is not someone that got lost on a bike ride. But we still went and checked out the trails and all that, and went looking for her just in case we were wrong, and and maybe people were just bumbling or whatever. And so that was one of the things that told us, okay, there's something wrong, and something fishy happened, and so obviously there is a suspect. And so there was that going on, and then we took closer looks at the areas and stuff, and some things didn't add up. Like, we found a receipt at the foot of the driveway on Puma Path, and we looked at it, and it just, but then we dismissed it. And we didn't touch it really. We moved it with a stick a little bit, and figured that if it was anything, law enforcement would figure something out about it. But there's just weird little things like what was on that receipt, and um just it just didn't feel right, I guess, is the way to say it. And then came Barry's little 20, what was it, 26 seconds or something like that.
Terrible.
The terrible video where he was offering a reward for the return of Suzanne, but also saying, Suzanne, if you're out there, and whoever has you, blah blah blah. And it was just, it didn't make any sense, and it seemed like disjointed, and it and a lot of people were saying, well, you don't know how somebody's going to act under stress. And so I was like, okay, well, maybe that's the case, but this is still weird. I've never seen something like that really happen, the way he was, and how short it was. So that was another weird thing. And another weird thing is that they didn't have like the daughters make any appeals on their social medias or anything like that which would be a big ploy to get the story out there if she actually was a missing person. The kids going, oh, our mom's gone or whatever. And then came that Tyson Draper video where we saw him interview Barry, and
that was a good job on Tyson's part.
Yeah, that was a good job on his part. I think part of it was staged, but that by the end of the interview, Tyson realized also that something was wrong with Barry, that Barry was very sus.
Do you think Tyson was maybe a little bit afraid of Barry by the end of that little interview?
I think that by the end of that video, Tyson had a very healthy respect for how dangerous Barry is.
Yeah, no.
And then it started being better known what the stories were in the area, and we're snoops. We're snoops. We went checking up on the hotel in Broomfield. We went checking up on the dump runs where he'd been. We went and checked out
Oops.
like everything about the case, and the more we looked into it, the less Barry looked innocent
I wonder
to us.
what do you think he was getting rid of the trash cans that day? You think he was getting rid of like the cartridges for that BAM, the BAM? Do you think he was getting rid of the leftover BAM he had brought from out of state?
Yeah, I believe he was, and actually he is even on record stating to law enforcement that he was getting rid of that. Then he's like, "Oh, it was laying around on the shelf in my garage, or the counter in my garage, and I must have thrown that out on the trash runs."
Why would he say that?
And I think the guy has a severe case of verbal vomit, that he needs to have answers for everything, and that's how come he would fall for it when the cops would tell him a lie about, "Oh, we've got you pinged here," and they didn't actually have him pinged in the area, but then he put himself there by saying, "Oh yeah, I was there doing this or that." And
Okay, well,
it's just part of his personality where he has to, almost like he has to have the last word. He's got to be the smart one. He's got to have the answers, and he doesn't want to be seen as bumbling at all. He doesn't want to be seen as an idiot. He cares about his image, and so, like, for him, image is
hold
everything.
the camera still.
And that's probably part of the reason why he decided to take out Suzanne. She was hurting his image, and she wanted a divorce. And
stop reading the comments. For anybody that just got here, Linda Stanley was disbarred and
lost her appeal.
And she lost her appeal, and
So
she will continue to be disbarred for anybody that's just showing up.
Yeah, not only in Colorado, but she's disbarred in all the states that that uphold other states' disbarments. And it's unclear exactly how she's doing on the federal level, because she was in the lowest level of federal court here in Colorado as well, and she can't do the federal courts or anything in Colorado. But federal courts and state courts are different from each other, so I don't know if she'd be able to be a lawyer in federal court in a different state. But she definitely can't be one here.
Do you think she was a truck driver, Linda Stanley?
Oh, I believe she was a truck driver at one point. Good point. Maybe she will go back to being a truck driver.
Like an over-the-road big giant tractor trailer, hauling cows and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Oh, maybe she'll be a roadie for her husband. Drive his gear around.
Yeah.
He's a musician. Anyway, Suzanne's case is in good hands. I think that Barry's got to be squirming by now. I forgot to call and find out if he's still in jail, but he was still in jail last time I asked.
Yeah, we'll call and check on that.
So he hadn't gotten the bail yet at that point. We'll check. I have followed up with research into what bail bondsmen want in a client. This is a $3 million bond, and the prosecution did this bang up summary of Barry and why his bail should be at $3 million, which really did make him look like a flight risk. So I'm not sure how a bail bondsman would feel about covering it, even if Barry's people managed to piece together all the collateral that they're going to need to put up for this. Well,
that's going to take a while if he's got all those different properties and all those different property owners.
And so, yeah, I hope he is stuck there all the way up through the trial, and we know that on September 16th they're having another one of those status things, and it's possible, if both sides are good to go, that on the 16th we'll get the actual scheduling of a trial.
They were aiming for next summer.
Yeah, they were aiming for next summer, and we'll see if it does end up being next summer. But it's gonna be good. It's gonna be so good to get justice for Suzanne. And let's see what.
I'll get out of here. I'm just doing
Was
something.
there anything else that stuck out to you, especially about what was the turning point for you, Bay, when you decided that he
in the very beginning, I'm like, what? I mean, what if he didn't do it? But he's kind of a bastard.
Yeah. So are you still on the fence, or have you come over to my way of thinking?
No.
You think he did it?
Barry's gonna go to trial, and he most likely will not walk. So you better get real used to being in a jail cell. Any questions, anybody? Jules knows a lot about Barry. She knows a lot about this case. Ask her anything. Unless we're going to shut this down.
Yeah, any questions? We'll take care of.
Well,
Court TV did an hour show on Morphew. Okay.
Trial date is April 26th. I do not believe that's true.
Yeah, I don't know about the April. We'll see what
happens. It's
not
concreted in at any. No.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. I mean, because the prosecution says they're ready, they're good to go, and but of course we got to.
The defense said there's way too much. Yeah, way too much work to do.
And they said that and they said that how did they say it? They're having the opposite problem that was happening in the first trial, where the defense was saying they weren't getting the evidence. This time the defense is saying we are getting swamped in evidence. We are getting buried in evidence.
They were.
They just keep giving us all this evidence, and we don't know what to do with it all. And there's just so much.
So I'm thinking maybe more like July, possibly this may begin. There you go. I see I have someone to agree with me in July. Yep. Anyways, questions? Anyone? Ask Julie anything. She knows. We've been on this since day one, guys. So if there's any questions, we have the answer.
Yeah, and it seems like the defense is like trying to be a PR team for Barry or something, or just trying to make him be happy, because they seemed like idiots at the last hearing, especially when they were trying to argue for a reduction in bail. They wanted it to go down to $500,000 because that's what it was during the last trial, and they tried to say that this time wasn't much different than last time, and it's like,
that's a good question. What day do you think he did it? Remember, he woke up on Mother's Day. This is what he said. He woke up and he may or may not have kissed her goodbye before he left that day.
And I believe that he did not kiss her goodbye on Sunday. I think that she was probably deceased on Sunday, but it's possible that she was just drugged on Sunday. I don't know exactly when she passed on, but I know that with the BAM being in her marrow, inside the bones, that it had to have metabolized, which means that she was under the influence of the BAM for a while before she was eventually killed.
What if he just gave her too much accidentally?
No, the coroner ruled that out and said that the BAM was used in conjunction with something else in her murder, and it is likely that he suffocated her.
No.
Yeah. While she was under the influence of the BAM and unable to do anything, it would have left her paralyzed, unable to speak, unable to scream, unable to move, but she would have likely still been conscious enough to realize what was happening.
Yeah, it's a terrible story.
And I think Friday is possible.
Jewel Stanfield. Thank you. Jules, she said,
Oh, I like the
loves your
purple hair.
purple hair.
Yep, I decided to go purple. I did blue all through the Gannon thing. I decided to go purple for this because pink just looked weird on me because I was gonna go pink. I thought about
Should I
Suzanne.
do purple as well so we match?
That'd be cute.
What do you think? First it was platinum because Jewel was platinum, and now she's
Yeah.
done purple. What do you think? If you listen to Jules and Martin, she died on Friday, and that sounds right. Oh.
Yeah, all the friend requests on Friday night, and yeah, it's entirely possible that it happened on Friday or that she was drugged on Friday. Because, like I said, he's a disgusting human being, and he may have kept her alive and let her suffer for a while until it was convenient for him to do away with her. Barry being a true crime enthusiast and a hunter and all that, he knew about cadaverin, so he knew that once she was deceased, the clock would be ticking. He didn't want cadaver dogs to tip off law enforcement at all, so he kept her alive as long as he could before he did away with her and stashed her.
Yeah, that's Court TV. They have a lot of content, but who's really right? We are right. We've been since day one. We are the authority on this channel.
Yeah,
This channel is the authority on Suzanne Morphew and Barry Morphew. We are the authority. We know. So think about that next time you're listening to a less reputable source.
Yeah. We've been boots on the ground since the very beginning. And then
Jeff.
Jeff was talking to someone on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
And luckily Jeff is on the witness list, so we'll be able to hear when the trial happens whether Jeff feels that it was Suzanne that he was speaking to, or whether Jeff feels that it wasn't Suzanne.
Do you know how angry Barry would be if he had to text Suzanne's picture to Jeff Libler going, I'm still alive? Because he found out about those guys.
Yeah, and they say I saw that somebody said that the photo of Suzanne, they keep saying that that's the last proof of life, but in the current affidavit, in the affidavit from the last arrest of Barry, they were saying, the first arrest of Barry, they were saying that photo was the last proof of life, but this affidavit does not count that as being the last proof of life. They're putting the last proof of life as being the conversation on the phone. I think the one with her sister is the last proof, but maybe it's the one with Libler. We don't know yet which one, but it said that her last proof of life was in the form of communication, not the photo. Yeah, and that photo is very sus. And yeah, I also think that Barry sent that photo to Jeff in order to make Suzanne appear to still be alive and still be, I mean, even if she was still alive at that point, she was already on her way to being dead. He had already drugged her and began the process. He put his plan into motion. And I do believe that this is premeditated. He is charged with first-degree murder. That's premeditation. And I do believe this is premeditated. And although technically premeditated would be, it could be even like 1 minute beforehand you plan it. By
Oh, message out for review. I bet it's naughty again. Oh, it's Rainbow Ramblings. He had BAM.
and yeah, he had the BAM, and he could have tortured her for hours.
Oh.
And that's one of the things that gave me the ick big time is the
Yeah.
fact that he said that he had sex with Suzanne that one night.
That's a naughty word. We're going to leave this comment. We're going to leave it hidden because YouTube said so.
Oh, YouTube hit it?
Yeah.
But
we answered it, though.
Yeah, and, I think that he essayed her, and, it's just horrible thinking of what all he must have put her through. And, yeah, he planned it, and, and like I said, premeditated could be 1 minute before, but I don't think this was just 1 minute before. I think he's been planning this for a long time, possibly started planning it back in Indiana before they even came to Colorado.
And Court TV said he didn't have BAM. Well. Barry.
What?
Well, they get the views and they're a big channel, but Barry Morphew
definitely had BAM. He bought a bunch of BAM in 2017. That was in his possession in 2017, and there was no record of him using all of it because you're supposed to keep records of these things. And so, and he admitted to police that he did bring some of the BAM with him to Colorado, claimed that he used it on deer here in Colorado, and then also claimed that he threw away the rest of it when he dumped things in Broomfield.
In Broomfield. Why would he throw that in Broomfield at the bus transfer station and the McDonald's? And why? Why would he do that?
And Court TV said he knew about Jeff. And yeah, I'm pretty sure he knew about Jeff.
Yeah, he probably found out.
And like when he and Suzanne were at the resort
in Mexico, each other for years.
And he tried to take Suzanne's phone from her and chased her around the resort and stuff. And the fact that it's just,
that's that picture where he's got her hidden in the room.
Yeah, that is from that particular vacation. And yeah, I'm pretty sure he figured it out, especially since the friend requests that were sent on her Facebook were most of them to someone named Jeff. That he was just trying to friend different Jeffs, which tells me that the Monix and Mallory and Libler, that is another one of the things that makes me wonder about whether Mallory is only an innocent victim of her father or if she knew more in this. And I know I'm gonna catch hell for questioning the innocence of the kids, but I believe that Macy is completely innocent in this, and I believe that they both are victims of their father, that he's manipulated them and like brainwashed them, and he's been doing this for a long time, making them consider him the favorite parent, and getting them to see Suzanne in a bad light, and and he was working on that during the first preliminary hearing and stuff too. And I think that they both maybe are a little bit afraid of him. At the very least, I believe Macy's afraid of him because of how timid she looked in the, was it 48 Hours interview where with or was it Dateline? I don't remember what it was, but they were on some show with their dad, and he's like squeezing their hands while they're
Mm.
talking, and she just looked a little bit uh she just had some giveaways in her body language when she said that no, her parents had a great relationship, when we know that she told police that her parents were having issues.
Can we get
That's
some
all I
more
got.
likes in here? We only have 15 up here on my screen. Can we get some more likes, please?
Thank you.
Like and subscribe. And does anyone have any more questions? This has been a long case,
Yeah.
and we might have your answer, most likely. Yes, we're a
Let's
little
see. Any
confident on
questions?
this. We are a little confident that we are
Yeah.
the official know of the ones who know.
Yeah, because we've been on the case since, just like two a day or two after Suzanne went missing. We were out there, and we've been out there over and over again because it really piqued our interest. And coming out of COVID and everything, we really wanted something to do, especially in the outdoors. And that's one of our stomping grounds. We're outdoors people, and we were very familiar with the area, so we were checking that out. And we went around and we talked to locals, and we, you know, we just got a lot of information and stuff, and it's just we know a lot. We know more than what we are comfortable
We know so
sharing.
much we can't even tell you
Yeah,
how
some of the
much we
stuff we
know.
can't
Oh
even
my
tell you
God.
about because we don't want to like pollute the jury pool or anything. So we can basically only tell you guys stuff that has been made public. Um, but we are very excited about this trial happening. We've been waiting for it. We knew things were in the works, and we were waiting for it to happen, and it finally happened, and we were tickled pink when Barry was picked up.
Let's don't forget what happened to Jeff.
Yeah, Jeff Puckett was a good man. He had his demons. He had his problems. He had his issues, but yeah, it was just a bit convenient.
Mike King.
Let's see. Or someone was there. I think Mike King might have been referring to the 5 trees, because there was the row of 5 trees, and that Barry had planted at an adjoining property to the Puma Path property, and the cadaver dogs did um, alert to one of the 5 trees, and it was dug up and nothing was found. But that doesn't mean that there was no cadaver in the soil or anything. It just means that they couldn't find anything. Um,
Rainbow Ramblings knows a lot about this story as well.
yeah, so go check on Rainbow Ramblings for sure, and check her out on X. And yeah, we are either going to be in the courtroom watching the trial, or if they have the little courtroom and they're only letting in family and stuff, in that case we will be watching it on the stream. But we may be popping over there to see what we can see outside of the courthouse, who's going in, and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, we should go over there and hang out. Watch it in the parking lot at least.
Yep.
Any more questions, guys? Anne Marie? New here, welcome. We're talking about Suzanne Morphew,
Barry Morphew,
and the district attorney that originally messed up the whole case.
Yeah, there was a really dumb district attorney that totally bungled the case, but luckily the case was dismissed without prejudice. So,
Yep.
so this guy has been arrested again for the murder of his wife, and we're looking forward to that trial happening.
He's
And that district attorney got disbarred, appealed her disbarment, and the appeal she lost, and she's disbarred.
Yep. So
And this is in Colorado. It was originally in Chaffee County, Colorado, around the town of Salida. Then the woman's body was found after a few years. It was found in an adjacent county, Saguache County, and the trial is going to take place in Alamosa County. And
yeah.
Did Colorado case.
Did Jeff and his wife get divorced? Did you ever hear anything about that?
I have not found that yet.
It's being a little bit hush.
Yeah.
So we don't have that answer.
Yeah. But now I'm curious, and
it's
and
almost
we'll
like
try to snoop around.
it's almost like Ellie is. Hey, it's almost like Ellie is protecting old Jeff Lidler.
Yeah, well, he's probably a star witness.
Probably.
And
that was a good question. Yeah, he hasn't been answering for much of anything. So.
And
the Heather Elvis case. Do tell.
The Heather Elvis case. She something happened to her, and I believe that coincidentally, Letitia Stout was one of the people that was questioned in that case. Was that ever solved? If anybody knows, please
let us know in the comments.
Yeah.
I think we're going to be working on the Amish lady that drove her kids into the lake.
Oh yeah.
Did you guys hear about this one?
Yeah. What was her name again? Ruth Miller.
Yes, Ruth Miller.
Yeah, that's the next discussion we're gonna have with you guys. We're gonna get it all put together.
Thank you, Rainbow. Let us know the next time we go live.
And we're gonna be following up on the Ruth Miller case. We just learned of it today, and got to see the body cam footage, and it was just crazy.
We started working on
Ruth Miller is this Amish woman who first off, she drove a golf cart into a lake with her twin 18-year-old sons and her 15-year-old daughter in the golf cart, and they were all rescued. And then after the rescue, she told police that she gave her 4-year-old son to God. And then they were like, what happened? And then it turned out that the husband was also in the bottom of the lake, that he mysteriously...
And Ruth Miller, she was talking about the fish.
Yeah, and Ruth was telling the police that her husband was inside a fish in the bottom of the lake.
Yeah.
And Ruth at first was put in a psych ward or something, but then she was found fit, and she's in the jail. And I saw that she had another court appearance. I'm not sure what's going on in that, and I will definitely bring you stuff about this interesting case. The Amish lady that.
We haven't done an Amish story on this channel for like 4 years.
Yeah, the only Amish story that I've ever done on this channel was Linda Stolfus, who was murdered by and abused and murdered by a local fellow there in the Amish country, and it just, that was sad. Anyway,
any more questions? We're gonna take off. Thank you everyone for being here. It's been 49 minutes.
Yeah, we better go.
We only have 21 likes in here, so if we could get a couple more likes, that would be awesome.
And continue to chit chat with each other, and Rainbow Ramblings has some of her information posted on her YouTube, but she's also on Twitter.
Yeah, we can't put links up. YouTube doesn't like that.
Yeah, but just go look her up and you'll find her. Yeah, for
Look
some
on the
reason.
channel. You'll see Rainbow Rambling on here all the time. Thank you for posting.
And we'll go now, and we'll talk to you again probably tomorrow.
We're going live again.
We might go live.
I don't
again
know.
tomorrow.
Maybe not.
Wait, no.
We probably won't be live until like next week.
Yeah, it might be a few days before we can go live.
Good night, everybody.
Yeah, Rainbow Ramblings only does posts on her channel, but they're very insightful, and so I would definitely go there.
Yeah, check her out. She's all right.
And have a great night.
We've been doing everything on the phone now, everybody, and we haven't been doing the long, heavily edited videos lately. And
yeah,
just been doing everything on the phone, so it's much faster that way.
Yep. And I feel like it's more real too.
Everything's raw, slightly edited. That's it.
Yep.
So come on back, subscribe. Thank you for joining.
And yeah, good night.
We'll let the comments run for a moment, and then that's it for us. We're going to end this thing right away. So, good night.
I think it's the X.
Boom. Try that again. Yep. Click, click.
I didn't read your finger.
There it is.